Seterusnya tuan-tuan dan puan, kita sampai kepada ucapan aluan. Dengan itu dipersilakan pengerusi Yayasan MyNadi untuk menyampaikannya. Dengan itu dipersilakan Yang berbahagia Datuk Dr. Endon Sinaderai. Silakan.
Yang amat berhormat Datuk Sri Najib Tun Abdul Razak, Perdana Menteri Malaysia, Your Excellency Mr. Ong Keng Yong, High Commissioner of Singapore to Malaysia, Your Excellency Mr. Tirumurti, the High Commissioner of India to Malaysia, Yang Amat Arif Tan Sri Richard, good friend and colleague of mine, Datuk Sri Sharizad, who's here, I think, not as Wanita UMNO Chief, but in a capacity as Chairman of the National Foundation, right? And of course, YB Kamalanathan, with whom we have worked quite a bit, Datin, ladies and gentlemen and friends. Datuk Sri, first and foremost, I must thank you very much for finding time to come here on your extremely busy schedule. I know you pushed this event back from 5 o'clock to 4 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and you asked me whether it is possible. It is possible, Datuk Sri, because every single one of the 500 people in this hall are friends of MyNadi. They're personal friends. All he needed was a phone call from me and my boys and girls to tell them to come, and they came. Because they've been waiting for more than 5 years, Datuk Sri, to see you and say thank you for what we've done. The video just showed what we've done in the last 5 years. And I think now MyNadi decides that we should move forward. And Datuk Sri will remember that this was our first coming out into the world when MyNadi hosted the One Malaysia Batu Caves Carnival. At that time, the Indian community was at the crossroads, and MyNadi provided the avenue for the people and for you to reach out to them. And in that event, when the MC shouted One Malaysia, everybody shouted. And they responded, Datuk Sri, with Uru Malaysia. And you too shouted Uru Malaysia. And today, we are here to celebrate the 5 years in which we have moved on. As we go down to the ground, Datuk Sri, you will find that in the Indian community, there are two things which they're very passionate about. They're very passionate about the temples, and they're very passionate about education. When we go down to the ground and look at temples, there are many issues regarding temples, Datuk Sri. And to bring order to disorder, MyNadi proposes that one of the things to convert temples which are uncompleted to completed temples, Datuk Sri, MyNadi in 2010 proposed a database of Hindu temples. We hope that, Datuk Sri, you will allow MyNadi to take this challenge to move forward, because in my next slide you will see something very interesting. You'll see Datuk Kamalanathan looking up at God, asking for a solution, and next to me is somebody equally famous, Xavier, and sitting between the two of them is me as a buffer. And to me, Datuk Sri, temples must remain neutral. And that is why I hope that Datuk Sri will give MyNadi the opportunity to spearhead this task force to ensure that temples in this country remain neutral and will go forward. This, Datuk Sri, was the first project, the Senawang Tamil School, that we did. If it wasn't for you, which was announced in the 9th Malaysia Plan, it got stuck for financial reasons. And when I came and approached you, in fact, the first time we went to Senawang, we were chased away. They thought we were just like any other NGO. They'll promise the sun and the moon and deliver nothing. But thanks to you, Datuk Sri, the school is now built, the school is functioning, and the PIBG is here at the back of the hall, hoping to get a date from you to open this school. It's almost 3 years. This, Datuk Sri, is another of the famous issues that we solved, the school in the shop lot. This shop lot school had lasted for many years and many months, and many people had tried to resolve it. But being a civil servant myself, Datuk Sri, what we did was, I worked within the system. We worked within the system, and we were able to show a paper trail that promised the school a piece of land. And today the school has become a fully aided school, and it is now standing very proud that they have now got a home of their own, enough for the 250 students. So Datuk Sri, you have been able to get us many things. The future opportunities of study of Tamil in schools. You see, Datuk Sri, when the government came out with the blueprint in education, MyNadi had a round of discussions. We looked at the blueprint for education, and there were some areas of concern. What MyNadi did was, we engaged with various educationists, and we talked to them. And thankfully, what we did was, we were quite different. We do not believe in doing street protests. We do not believe in doing hunger strikes. We believe in being moderates, just like you, Dato Sri. In a moderate manner, we have decided that after several rounds of engagement and town hall meetings, we discovered that in the blueprint, the areas that were not addressed needed to be addressed. We're thankful to you for appointing Dr. Professor Rajendram to head the task force in Tamil primary schools, and that has done a lot. But what needs to be done, Dato Sri, is that the opportunity for an Indian student to learn Tamil after he leaves primary school, right up to university, is an area of concern. And I'm sure, Dato Sri, like how you promised the Chinese last weekend, that their vernacular schools will be protected, I'm sure today we will get from you a promise that the Tamil schools will also be protected. And a little bit more than that, Dato Sri, we want the learning and the teaching of Tamil in secondary schools, in universities, and beyond to go on. Because without this, we will not be able to produce people in the Tamil language. And there will be many more people like me who can understand Tamil but can't speak Tamil nor read or write. So I'm quite buta huruf. So what we did was, for YB Kamalanathan, there's no such thing as a free tea. So what we did last 1 month ago, Dato Sri, we put him in the hot seat. And in that hot seat, we launched the Plan Pembangunan Pengajaran dan Pembelajaran Bahasa Tamil di Sekolah Menengah dan Institusi Pengajaran Tinggi. And later today, Dato Sri, after a final engagement, we are going to present this to you for due consideration so that we hope it will be parked under, maybe under Prof. Rajendram's team or a different team to address this issue so that it can go on to the next stage. As we continue our engagement on the ground, Dato Sri, we get back many questions and answers. We engage people at all levels, in all places, at all times of the day and night. And we make notes, and if you look very carefully in this one, Dato Sri, is being done under your watchful eye because the picture's in the background. But we don't always meet over masala tea and vadai. This was actually in a nasi kanda shop. So we are quite open and want Malaysia in the way we meet and talk to people. Project Harapan, Dato Sri, is one of our areas of concern, and as you can see, we give a lot of aid to people, and this is one of the areas that we are very fortunate now that with the BRIM and the amount of money that you give to children in school, it has done a great help to many of them. Many people may make noise about BRIM, but for these people on the ground, Dato Sri, it is something very important for them, and they look forward every year to it. This, Dato Sri, is one of our transformations. This is a house of somebody. And you can look at the kind of situation they live in. And when MyNadi went in, we helped give them a home. Now, Dato Sri, when we look at the enriching experience, we find that many of the young children in the Tamil schools, especially in the rural schools, do not have access to how to answer. Many of them are smart, but they can be smarter because they do not have the answers on how to answer, and this is what we have done. We brought 480 of them. For the first time, many of them were the first trip out of the estates to Kuala Lumpur, to University of Malaya, so that they will aspire to become undergraduates one day. And this was the first such event, and it was reported in the Tamil media as it was something nobody had done before. The next thing that I'm going to touch to you, Dato Sri, is science fair for young children. As you walked in, I know you were stopped by some eager, budding, potential Nobel Prize winners who talked to you about Buah Melaka and vitamin C. And in fact, Dato Sri, this is something that we have been passionate about. It has been around for the last almost 8 years. There are 523 Tamil schools, primary schools in this country. And over the years, Dr. Yunus, who is one of the main movers of this, has been able to get all the 523 schools to participate. And in actual fact, we have touched the hearts and minds of more than 200,000 young children who are potential scientists. And 2 years ago, to stimulate greater interest, I negotiated a deal with the then Indian High Commissioner. So, Mr. Tirumurthy, I might be asking you for another deal, where His Excellency Mr. Vijay Gokhale sent the winners to Bangalore to the Indian Space and Science Research Center. And that was an enlightening experience. And last year, His Excellency Mr. Ong Keng Yong is here because we sent them to Singapore, to the Science Center, to the Discovery Center, and to the Night Safari. So we make it a point to send them. But this year, Dato Sri, I ran out of promises. So the only promise I did to the young scientists was that last week I promised them that they'll meet the most important person in the country, yourself. Because 2 years ago, before they went to ISRO, Dato Sri, Datin Sri Rosma was gracious enough to host them in Sri Pradana and give them lunch. So today, I brought them here for you to meet them, Dato Sri. And what is more important, Dato Sri, the return on investment. For last year's winners, who were not only able to win a double gold at ITEX this year, but they have been invited to participate in Beijing, coming soon for the international competition. And knowing things, how they will go, I'm sure soon they'll come to MyNadi to fund them on this trip to Beijing. And I don't think we'll say no, because it is one of the ways of hoping to get a Nobel Prize winner at some stage. Now, Dato Sri, over the 5 years, we have developed 555 projects, and I've given a breakdown. And many people ask me, how do 5 of you do this? 5 of us do this because we've got a strategic partnership with almost 250 NGOs. And for those who do not believe us, the name of the 250 NGOs at the back of the program book that you have. And the 500 people in the hall today represent a small group of the 250 NGOs that we have touched. And through the 250 NGOs, Dato Sri, we have touched almost 300,000 Malaysians. So we have become a very powerful NGO or a foundation that has reached out to all races, and like I said, not only to the Indians, but to the Chinese and the Orang Aslis. But what is more impressive, Dato Sri, is that I'm sure you'd like to run the country like this. Only 6% was used in administration. For every dollar you gave me, Dato Sri, 94 cents went to the ground. And we were able to do this for one reason, Dato Sri. Everybody in this room is a volunteer. We volunteer everything. And like you saw, the video that was done by volunteers. Otherwise, it would have set us back by 40 to 50,000. And everything that we do is a volunteer, Dato Sri. And how do we do it? We do it because we're volunteers, because we work with the 250 partner NGOs, and we reach out to more than 300,000. And this is how we did it, Dato Sri. If you look around the room, there are 40 young people dressed in the cream saris and with the blue-green kurtas. They are, for me, the building of capacity and the succession planning, because the future belongs to the youth of today. And that is MyNadi, because we cannot be here forever. I have to build a succession, I have to build capacity, and we have brought them here. And everyone around this room, Dato Sri, is here. And this youth have only asked me for one thing. At the end of this session, they want to have a photo opportunity with you before you leave. With that, Dato Sri, I thank you very much, and I hope you'll enjoy this. And my promise is that from 5 years, same time, same place, we'll invite you to see what MyNadi has done in the first decade of existence. Thank you very much.